Hey, fourth grade. Today we are looking at the human respiratory system. So far we've covered the nervous system, the circulatory system, and now we're at the respiratory system. What you may or may not know is that the circulatory and the respiratory system work together, and I'm going to teach you more about that today. All right, so our objective for today, you will understand the purpose and the function of the respiratory system, and that the respiratory system and circulatory system work closely together to bring oxygen to our bodies and to take waste, which is old oxygen, away. And here is a diagram of the respiratory system. We have our lungs, which you can see here. This is the trachea, all right? Our mouth, our nose, also known as the it's too big. Nasal cavity. Okay, and then right down here, you have your diaphragm. Essential question. This is what you need to know by the end of this lesson or the end of this unit. What is the function of the respiratory system, and how does it work together with the circulatory system to help us breathe? Your lungs are located in your chest behind your rib cage. They play a very important role in your respiratory system. Their job is to help take oxygen from the air you breathe and put it in your blood. Then your blood carries the oxygen to all parts of your body. Your lungs need a helper to do their work. That helper is a muscle called the diaphragm, pronounced diaphragm. Your diaphragm sits just below your lungs. When you breathe in or you inhale, air travels through your nose or your mouth to your lungs. It travels through a tube called the trachea. Trachea. When you inhale, your diaphragm squeezes and your lungs expand with air. The air you exhale fills with tiny sacs in your lungs. Many small blood vessels called capillaries surround the air sacs in your lungs. Your lungs make oxygen from the air that you breathe and give it to the blood in your capillaries. Then that blood travels to all parts of your body, delivering oxygen. Your lungs have another important job. They help remove a waste product called carbon dioxide from your body. Carbon dioxide is in the air that you breathe out or exhale. Did you know that smoking cigarettes is very bad for your lungs? Y'all don't ever start that. I have family members that smoke. Nobody wants to be around when they're smoking because you smell like smoke, they smell like smoke. It's just awful. And on top of that, it's terrible. You can get cancer from it. It can cause all kinds of diseases, cancer. You can have all kinds of health problems. It makes it much harder for them to do their job. You can protect your lungs and keep them healthy. Get regular exercise, avoid air pollution, and never, ever, ever, ever smoke cigarettes. Okay, this little part right here, the light blue, is called the trachea. And then these two pretty little pink things, those are the lungs. They help us breathe. And what they're doing is they bring our diaphragm, which sits below our lungs. It brings air in and takes it out, and in and takes it out. It squeezes and our lungs expand with the air. All right, our vocabulary, I pulled them from here. Rib cage. Define: your lungs are located in your chest behind your rib cage. Your rib cage protects your lungs and heart. Here's an image, because you've got to have an image. What it is not. It is on the exterior of the heart and lungs. It is not on the interior of the heart and lungs. Okay? So what it is it's just between, it's the bone that's between our lungs, our heart, and our skin. You've got to look at respiratory system, diaphragm, inhale, trachea, and capillaries. Here's our lung. All you'll do here is you will just, this is the right about it. You will just use this page here to help you write about what your lungs do. All right? Here, again, is our respiratory system. Air comes in through our nose or our mouth, okay? Through the trachea to our lungs, and the diaphragm helps us to breathe in and out. What are the circulatory and respiratory systems? As I said, we already studied the circulatory, but we're just going to tie them together now. Why it matters. To explore underwater, these divers are using oxygen tanks so that they can breathe. You and the divers need oxygen to live. Your respiratory and circulatory systems deliver oxygen to your cells. Okay? The main idea, respiratory and circulatory. And these were words over here, the vocabulary words, the only new one that you'll have is respiratory system. The rest of them you've already had when we studied circulatory. The respiratory system brings oxygen to the body and removes waste. The circulatory system carries oxygen to the cells and carries away waste. The respiratory system. You could not live for very long without breathing in and breathing out. Organs that work together to take air into the body and push it back out make up the respiratory system. Respiratory system. Respiratory system. When you inhale or breathe in, you take air into your nose. The air moves to the trachea, which connects the throat to the lungs. In the chest, the trachea divides into two tubes. These tubes enter the lungs, the main organs of the respiratory system. Each tube divides into smaller and smaller tubes. At the end of the smallest tubes are millions of tiny air sacs. In the air sacs, oxygen is transferred to the blood. Blood carries oxygen to all your cells. At the same time, carbon dioxide waste from the cells is transferred from the blood to the air sacs. When you exhale or breathe out, your body gets rid of carbon dioxide. The diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscle that helps you breathe. When the diaphragm contracts, it moves down to your chest and you inhale. When the muscle relaxes and moves toward the lungs, you exhale. Okay? And here we can see this little fella. Okay? Then his nose, we all know where his nose is. The nose cleans, moistens, and warms the air as it is inhaled. The trachea. This part right here is our trachea. The trachea is also called the windpipe. If you have ever swallowed anything wrong and it goes into your windpipe, that is extremely, extremely painful and scary too. Lungs, these things right here, these are our lungs. The lungs are the main organs of the respiratory system. Air sacs, see the little air sacs? Oxygen and carbon dioxide pass through the thin walls of the air sacs into the blood. Here's our diaphragm. It's the muscle that moves up and down when you inhale and exhale. All right, you've got an assignment that is attached just to make sure that you have an understanding of what we studied today. And then stay tuned. We'll finish up with our respiratory system this week. And then next week, we're moving into the digestive system. And Wednesday and Thursday, we have a special guest speaker. She is the parent to one of the fourth graders at Wedowee Middle School. And she is going to do a special dietary lesson with us while we're studying, an exercise lesson with us while we're studying the digestive system. So we have that to look forward to. Hope you guys are doing good.